Well, let's go to Nigeria now, where militant group, the Niger Delta Greenland Justice Mandate, has claimed responsibility for the latest attack on a pipeline in the oil-producing region. The Niger Delta has been plagued by vandalism, which has seen the country's oil production plummet. Together with other economic factors, it's now plunged Nigeria into a recession. Well, let's get to more on that story now. I'm joined live from Lagos by CCTV's Deji Badmus. Deji, has there been an official response yet to this latest oil pipeline attack?
Not at all, Lindy. There's been no official response at all, and it's in line with what has been the position of the government. Previous attacks we had in the past, there was no official reaction. The closest we've had to an official reaction, if you like, is a statement from the spokesperson of the police in that state, and talking about Delta State now. And the spokesperson in that state said, well, that the police was not aware of any attack at all in that area. But other than that, there's been no official reaction at all, not any from government and not any at all from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC.
Well, Deji, of course, we know that there are several militant groups operating in the Niger Delta. This one seems like a bit of a new one, though. Can you tell us more about the Niger Delta Greenland Justice Mandate group?
Well, the group was actually formed in August this year. As a matter of fact, it announced its presence in August and threatened to blow up oil facilities. Something about this group, and one reason why it is different from the other groups we've seen, it's actually drawn from basically two tribes. These two tribes are in the upland area of the Niger Delta region. These two tribes now are known as Uroba and Isoko, and they actually exist in the upland area, and that's where this group has been operating from, targeting oil facilities now in the upland region. And the group says basically what it wants is that it wants these oil companies to change their attitudes towards the people of that region and deal with them, provide them with basic necessities, and that they also want the government to force the oil companies to cooperate with the locals in that area. So the group came up August, and we've seen the group carry out at least 4 attacks now, and it is threatening to carry out more attacks if the oil companies do not, according to the group now, change its attitudes towards the people in that region. And something I should quickly add is that the group also has opted out of the negotiation that the government has decided to open now with militant groups in that region. So the group says it is not part of the planned talks now between the government and militant groups in the region.
And I suppose that's what makes this particular conflict so challenging, is that the militant groups are not always sort of, speaking from the same page. They're operating independently of each other. What is the latest then on those talks between the militant groups that have agreed to negotiate with government? Can you just update us on those negotiations?
Well, part of the problem now is that, it's true that the militant groups are not speaking in one voice. And then there's also the problem of who should represent these militant groups now in the talks with the government. The talks are yet to commence, and of course, the government has been accused of foot dragging on it, and that it's rather playing the military card. But of course, there have been calls on the government to speed up the talks. We just wait and see what happens. But as we speak today, there's some kind of foot dragging on the part of government and on the part of the militants themselves. It's been difficult for them to actually come together and get somebody to speak for them, as in agree on a single representative. As we speak today, you have about 2 groups now that are claiming to represent the militants in that region. So that is also part of the problem. It's one of the reasons the government too says it's just not been able to commence full talks with the militants.
All right, Deji Badmus, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks very much for that update from Lagos on the latest attacks in the Niger Delta.